You can add basic shapes and geometric shapes to your page in Affinity Publisher. And you can do this to either add more visual interest to your publication, or as a more practical means of, for instance, adding text on top of, say, a shaped panel, so you can bring emphasis to the text. So we'll just take a look at a few of those examples. In this drone brochure we have here, I've got some pages set aside to add a particular shapes to. And we can access the shapes from this flyout here. This rectangle tool is shown by default. And if you hit or rather click the disclosure arrow, you get a whole series of shapes you can choose from. But for today, we're just going to have a look at the rectangle tool, and I'll just draw out a particular rectangle that will snap to this yellow strip we've got here on the left spread. So if I just drag outwards, you can see I'm drawing a particular sized grey strip, almost like an information panel. So that's a rectangle created. Now, keeping with the same tool, I can also create a square, and you can do that by snapping again to a different location, but using the same principle. We're snapping there to margin and the image corner, and then dragging downwards with the Shift key pressed. And that will get a perfect square there. Now I'll just position those in the stack to there. I'll position this one to there. And once I've done that, I can then switch on the text, and you'll get more of an idea about that idea of presenting information on panels. And so I've selected these 4 text, frame texts, and I'll just switch it on, and you can see them presented there on kind of like commonly coloured areas. Now if we go back to the top page, the page 1, and you'll see we've got this shape up here. So this is another rectangle, but we can do various things to that in making different variants of that shape by using the context toolbar on the top of the workspace, which is common to all the shapes that we've got available in the Publisher. So the options on the context toolbar will differ depending on the shape selected. In this instance, we've got this context toolbar which offers things like single radius and cornering. So that means you can change the cornering, the rounding around this particular rectangle. So I'm interested in this bottom right hand corner, interested in rounding it off. So what I can do is, instead of having the rounding being applied to all 4 corners, if you can see that there, I'll just raise that value a little bit. What I can do is just uncheck single radius, and then choose to just find the option which is bottom right, and then choose a rounded corner for that, and then again set that value up to roughly 50%. Okay, some other things that you can do with shapes. Just come down here and for instance, if we'll look in this area here, if I wanted to create a text frame from a particular shape, I can, for instance, pick the segment tool, and I can drag the tool upwards if I particularly wanted to, and snap it to the bottom left-hand corner as kind of a shaped information panel, if you like. And if I go to the layer menu, I can choose convert to text frame. And within this particular text frame, I can add some more text. But in this case, it's within a shaped container. If I go to the text frame panel, I can add some inset values in there. Just gives you a rough idea of the kind of things you can do with shapes. Similarly, if you wanted to create a a picture frame from a shape, you can also use the equivalent layer, convert to picture frame instead of convert to text frame.